understand that, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then, you know, ever since around like when I had to go and move to BB's, like he he was like more concerned with like what I was doing than looking at himself and seeing how fucking like when the last big thing that happened that made my mom go get the order of protection. The only reason me and him got into a fight was because he started opening his mouth because his whack fucking brain wouldn't fucking let him like go downstairs and turn the fucking power back on to the house. So because a few days earlier my mom had moved like all my shit that I had taken from BB's was sitting in the living room in like a few bins, and I didn't want a lot of that stuff going downstairs because it'll get ruined because it's like damp and stuff. I was going to put it in the attic. And like a week before that day, me and my mom had talked about the priorities around here. It was finish the shed, clean up all like the wood and like metal and shit in the yard, and then work on stuff in the house. And then I was at the shop one day, uh, doing whatever, and I came back and my shit was moved. My mom's like, "Oh yeah, me and Chris moved it," and I'm just like, "We literally just talked about not moving it, and then why would you have him touch my shit? I don't want him going anywhere near my shit." And then so like I went outside to go take all my tools, and I was like, if you can't be a grown up and respect me as a grown up and we agree to something and you stick to it and you're just going to do what you want because it's your house and that's the card you're going to pull, then you take responsibility and get the shed finished. It's your house. And so me and her were fucking screaming at each other. And then he came outside and was like looking at me funny because I was screaming at her like he's never screamed at her. And I was like, "What the fuck are you looking at? Shut your fucking mouth." And then, so because I did all that and screamed and cursed at her and told him to shut his fucking mouth, that night with the power, when I went to go in his room to put the power on, he started talking shit about how I didn't want him touching my shit. And all he did was put it downstairs, but yet I'm gonna walk in his room without asking. Like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. The power's in your room. Either turn it on or someone's going in your room. But because his brain was fucked up, he just didn't comprehend that. Like, if he would have just not shut the fuck, if he would have shut the fuck up, like none of that would have fucking happened. And throughout the after, like me and him started arguing, he would be like, "Oh, you're a bipolar piece of shit. BB and Greg know about that," and like for all the time he would always say like I'm bipolar. Meanwhile, like he was on 3 bipolar medications and he didn't
Like
even know
like
what the definition of bipolar was.
he was insulting you by calling you bipolar. He is literally bipolar.
Yeah, but he like didn't believe that he was bipolar because I was like, "No, you're the one who's bipolar. That's why you're on medication for it." And he's like, "I'm not bipolar." He would just say like dumb shit like that, and then like he was like, "What kind of fucking retard goes to a school for fucking boats and doesn't like boats?" Like that's not. He would he would like insult me for
Or
going
try
to
to.
school. Yeah, but like he would like insult me for like wanting to finish school basically. Like I'm like, I already have a college degree. You have nothing. Like I don't know what there really is for you to insult. You're not above me in any shape or form. And that whole thing with maritime isn't what it wound up being. It's not that I don't like boats. It's ship design is incredibly meticulous and boring, and I thought maybe it wasn't going to be that bad, but it was fucking pretty bad. So, like, that's kind of the way things go when you actually try to figure out your life and you don't sit in your room shooting up heroin all day. Like, you try to figure out what you want to do, and there's some things you think you might like, but you just like reading about it and stuff and not actually doing it. That's what happens with a lot of people. Like Greg originally wanted to be like a fucking archaeologist, and then he fucking went on a trip somewhere and was digging in a desert and was like, "This is horrible." So
Yeah,
he went and did shit with physics, like.
crazy.
Yeah, so like he would just and he would always try to he would make up lies and shit about it. Like he would like put words in like BB and Greg's mouth, or like he would say like, "Oh, yeah, that's why mom fucking like talked to me a week ago and said she fucking hates you," and or like like he'd literally basically like try making shit up to like really get me pissed or whatever. Like that's just how he was. But yeah, I mean, I don't see like granted he wasn't the same person he used to be, but I mean, he really, really, really didn't like me, and that's fine because I really, really, really didn't like him. So I don't really see why I'd stay at the wake the whole time, and it's mad long. It's when I want we're family's going at 4 o'clock, and the shit doesn't end till 5. What the fuck am I gonna stand there for 5 hours for when all his dumbass friends are gonna be coming at 5 o'clock? And
The ones who contributed to him dying, basically.
yeah, and then like all these people that are like, oh, he was, like on Facebook when I made the post on his Facebook, like all these people are like, oh, they're all so sad, and he was such a great person, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, maybe he used to be, but he wasn't the past 5 years. The past 5 years that you all stopped talking to him and stopped and didn't really try helping him.
Yeah,
Like,
I still can't believe it. Like I like, I mean, I'm sure you had this conversation with like everyone like close to you, but like we were literally like a couple months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, talking about like what the fuck is going on and how everything was gonna happen, and then I was like, oh wow, your mom's finally stepping up. Like maybe things will get better, and then boom, immediate crash, like to the worst degree in every sense.
yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that it would happen, but I just kind of hoped he would not be a giant fucking pussy.
Mm.
But he just couldn't handle bad things. And if you can't handle life, then how do you ever move forward in life? Like, he started dabbling with like fucking Roxy's when he was with Stephanie. Then she broke up with him. Then he like became pretty bad. Then my father died. He couldn't handle that. Got even worse.
Had all the
And then
money to blow on it, probably
yeah,
killed his brain.
and then he went on a huge spiral. Couldn't stop. Then you OD, I think twice. Your brain's definitely fucked up after that. And then the past 2 years minimum, like the guy's brain, like just was completely fucked. And any time anything that he thought was bad would happen, he would just completely relapse. Like when he found out like Stephanie had a kid and she got married, like that fucking fucked him again. friends dying. He couldn't fucking handle any of that. And then, like, you know, you get kicked out and people are telling you what you did, and you're still just like in denial about what you did. And then you're like living on the street, and then you get homeless housing